Do you ever sense that something powerful within you remains unexpressed? That despite your efforts, you're living beneath your true capacity? Many people observe others seemingly thriving while carrying a quiet certainty that they're meant for something more. A more genuine, creative version of themselves exists, but stays buried under obligations and routines that feel increasingly empty. The issue isn't laziness or lack of discipline. The real problem runs much deeper. We exist within a collective illusion, carefully built by society and culture, teaching us to measure our value by external markers of success and productivity. We climb ladders without questioning whether they lean against walls worth reaching. We pursue goals that were never truly ours, work in roles that deplete us, and follow paths that drain our vitality. All for an invisible promise that fulfillment awaits us somewhere in the future, when we have more money, better positions, or finally find free time. That promised day never arrives because it doesn't exist. Life resembles music more than a race. Nobody listens to a symphony waiting only for the final note. The purpose lives in the melody, the dance, the present moment itself. Yet we've learned to treat life as an endless marathon toward a non-existent finish line. In this constant rushing forward, we forget to actually live. The waste isn't failing to reach some distant destination. The waste is being so fixated on getting there that we never experience being here. You're not lacking anything. You're misaligned. The world taught you to force yourself into an identity that was never yours, while ignoring your most important voice, your own. Mediocrity isn't failing to be extraordinary. It's never discovering who you actually are. The question becomes simple, yet profound. Are you living your own life, or merely performing a role in someone else's story? We're taught that realizing potential means achieving more, climbing higher, becoming more productive, and recognized. This idea gets sold as absolute truth, that you must accomplish something grand to prove your life mattered. But what we call potential might actually be a trap. You climb diligently, accumulating titles and visible achievements. Yet this ladder might not lean against the right wall. You could reach the top and discover too late that you spent your life chasing something that never belonged to you. We live imprisoned by inherited ideas about success, about what it means to be someone, to win at life. These ideas didn't originate within you. They were imposed by well-meaning parents, schools that shaped obedience, and culture that values appearance over essence. You were shaped to perform, not to live. You can be talented, disciplined, and successful by conventional standards while completely wasting your true potential. External achievement disconnected from your inner truth isn't success. It's exhaustion disguised as accomplishment. How often have you ignored your intuition to follow the right path? How many passions have you shelved fearing they seemed irresponsible? How many times have you asked yourself, what if I dropped everything, before quickly silencing that voice? This internal silence is the clearest symptom that you're not living authentically. You're acting. Real mediocrity results from a life wasted trying to fit into someone else's molds. Many people who appear successful externally feel empty internally, not from lack of effort, but from lack of connection to their true nature. You can spend your entire life chasing programmed goals and never discover what you truly came here to do, your unique vocation, your specific contribution that no one else can offer. The brutally necessary first step is to stop living in the future. As long as you keep waiting for the right moment to change, this false ladder will continue taking you exactly to the wrong place. You live waiting for the ideal hour when everything will finally align for you to start truly living. When you have more money, that job, when kids grow up, when circumstances improve. When. This when is a mirage that recedes every time you approach it. We've been trained to see life as a journey with a fixed destination, as if each day were merely a means to a greater end. But what if there is no destination? What if the point is exactly this moment, right now? Most people live as if life is always about to begin, treating the present as just a rehearsal. They accumulate years in waiting mode, swallowing frustration with promises of future rewards that never materialize. Life isn't a journey with an end. Its purpose isn't reaching the finale, but fully experiencing each moment. Yet we're programmed to sacrifice the present for an idealized tomorrow, trading our real life for a fantasy. Consider honestly, how many things have you postponed this year, believing the ideal moment would come? How many important decisions have you delayed, waiting to feel more ready? This constant postponement, disguised as responsibility or prudence, is the most efficient way to slowly kill your authenticity without realizing it. Time is passing. If you don't start truly living today, when exactly do you intend to start? Perhaps you're thinking, what if I don't even know what I really want? What if I've been conditioned so long that I can't distinguish my real desires from external influences? Face this question with complete seriousness. What would you do with your life if money weren't a concern? This simple, direct question devastates the conditioned ego. When answered honestly, everything you thought important begins to crumble. Career, status, degrees, long-term goals all reveal themselves as external constructs, trying to fill the void left by a life lacking authenticity. Behind our most logical choices lie deep fears: fear of judgment, poverty, disappointing parents, looking naive. Most paralyzingly, fear of discovering that you have desires society doesn't approve of. Most people never allow themselves to answer honestly because doing so means facing the possibility that they're wasting their one life trying to fit into expectations that were never theirs. Your answer reveals where your true potential lies. Not potential measured by performance metrics, but what pulses in your soul. What doesn't need validation from anyone. What would make you wake with eagerness, not anxiety? You don't need to act irresponsibly or drop everything immediately. But you can stop living a lie and start directing your life toward your truth, even in small steps. Set aside an hour just for yourself. Write without censorship. If I didn't need money, how would I live my days? There, in this simple exercise, you'll find clues about what truly moves you. As long as you continue adapting your soul to the system's demands, you'll continue living in mediocrity, even if externally you appear to be winning. Do you think you're making conscious decisions and authentic choices? Much of what you call you might actually be a performance, a sequence of roles you've learned so well that you no longer distinguish where the mask ends and your essence begins. You may be living as the responsible professional, exemplary child, determined entrepreneur, reliable partner, serious adult. Roles that seem admirable, but are just that, roles. The more you identify with them, the further you drift from who you really are. The child you once were knew how to play, create, question, express freely. Then, an entire system began shaping your behavior into what was considered acceptable. You learned to smile when you wanted to cry, say yes when you wanted to scream no, stay silent to avoid bothering others, please in order to survive. Little by little, you transformed into a domesticated version of yourself. The more you suppress authenticity to fit social roles, the more you lose touch with your inner voice. You confuse your function with your identity. Even success becomes a prison, because if the character won, it wasn't really you. Living trapped in a role is like being on stage and forgetting you're acting. The play continues, applause comes, but the actor gets lost in the character. The soul falls silent. What roles are you playing? What do you do just to be accepted, to avoid rejection, to maintain appearances? What part of you is being silenced every day for these roles to sustain themselves? You can't abandon all roles at once, and that's acceptable. but you can start putting small cracks in the mask. A gesture of authenticity, a bold decision, a no where there was once submission, a yes where there was once fear. Each act of truth is a blow against the script of mediocrity. You've been trained to live in order to arrive somewhere. Study to pass. Pass to get into college. College to land a job. Work to get promoted. Save to retire. Only then, perhaps, you'll have arrived. But there is no there to arrive at. There never was. As soon as you reach one goal, another appears on the horizon. The there moves like a carrot eternally out of reach. In this endless cycle, you never truly live. You're always going somewhere but never arriving. The system doesn't want you to arrive. It wants you to keep moving, obedient, productive, anxious. Life isn't a race. Life is a dance. The purpose of dance isn't to get somewhere. It's to dance. The point of music isn't the last note, but the sound of each moment. When you live only for the destination, you kill the poetry of the journey. How do you measure your worth today? By how much you've achieved, by what's left to reach, by comparison with others, by goals, results, numbers. That isn't living. That's accounting. You may be completely successful externally and completely dead internally. If your life is a sequence of goals rather than full moments, you're on the wrong ladder. You need to reverse the paradigm. Instead of asking, how much am I progressing? Start asking, how present am I? How alive do I feel? How authentic am I being in this moment? True fulfillment isn't in reaching the top. It's in being whole in every step. This requires courage. Courage to stop running when everyone around you is frenzied. Courage to be present in a world that glorifies the future. Courage to be who you are, even when that doesn't put you in any spotlight. You've spent your life believing you're an isolated individual, separate from the world, struggling to prove your worth. Everything you do is motivated by this belief that you need to become someone better, stronger, more capable, more admirable. But here's a profound truth. You're not an ego trying to win in the world. You're the universe itself, experiencing itself through a temporary and unique form. Your potential isn't something to be built or forced. It's not a ladder to climb or a prize to win. Your true potential is the full expression of who you already are. You didn't come into this world, you came out of it. Just as an apple comes from an apple tree, you're the fruit of the universe itself, a momentary manifestation of cosmic intelligence. Your function isn't to compare, compete, or prove your worth. Your function is to be fully you, in all your irreplaceable uniqueness. You compare yourself constantly, looking at others as references for what you should be doing, feeling, being. Each comparison is poison because the universe doesn't repeat itself. No one has your same combination of experiences, intuitions, talents, and sensitivities. Trying to mold yourself to what others are is the greatest waste of life you can commit. Your task isn't to be better than anyone. It's to be so completely yourself that your mere existence becomes a contribution. The world needs unique truths, not well-made copies. When you stop trying to control, force, or improve yourself to fit in, something extraordinary happens. Creativity flows. Clarity emerges. Life ceases to be a battle and transforms into a dance. Not because you do nothing, but because you finally stopped fighting against your own nature. Mediocrity ends the moment you have the courage to stop living as others commanded and start living as you were made to live. The key isn't to be more, do more, achieve more. The key is to let go of the script, abandon the mask, and live from the inside out. When that happens, life aligns. Not because it became easy, but because it finally became real. What part of yourself have you hidden out of fear of judgment? What truth are you ready to start living, even on a small scale? When you declare your authenticity, even in a few words, the process of transformation has already begun. This isn't just information. It's the beginning of the end of your mediocrity and the rebirth of your authenticity.